with a quick primer on shoulder mobility. Okay, and when we talk about shoulder mobility, this is just a general boilerplate, overview of what to look for in somebody with shoulder issues. So somebody comes in, they say they have a shoulder problem. Okay, and that could be anything. It could be rotator cuff, impingement, doesn't matter. When we talk about shoulder issues, okay, we want to talk about a hierarchy of kind of like what to look for, okay, because it could be a million different things. And so I'm just going to kind of take you through the different pieces of the puzzle, and then I'll break it down a little bit more in future weeks. Number one, we want to look at breathing mechanics, all right, because breathing is the most primal, frequent thing that we do, okay? And so I'll give you an example here. Someone is breathing, all right, they're taking breaths, take a deep breath in, and they come down. And I'm exaggerating this, of course, but if we have our client do this, one hand on top, one hand on the bottom, and they're getting a lot of motion sort of vertically up, okay, then that tells us that every time they breathe, their rib cage is lifting, and it's also causing kind of the accessory muscles of breath. So our scalenes here, our upper traps, our levator scaps, these muscles that cause upward motion to be active and on all the time. What it's also doing, if we're talking about like a rotator cuff tear, is it's narrowing the space between the shoulder and the ear, okay, and that's causing some bone-on-bone contact potentially. So that's the first thing that we want to address, all right? Breathing comes before anything else, all right? So if that is an issue and you see this, and this is something that we're going to do almost with everyone anyway, the first, just a good drill that we can do, just to teach them breathing very quickly, is just called 90-90 breathing, okay? And then in this position, all I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hands on I'm going to cue the client to put their hands on their stomach and just take a deep breath in and fill their belly with air. So here, I'm thinking about filling up my stomach like a balloon. We want to get most of the motion here, kind of 360 expansion. So this whole canister sort of fills up equally as opposed to getting excessive motion from up here. So hand on your stomach, deep breath in, expand. So even if we're doing something where, even if you're a physical therapist, you're doing manipulation on somebody, have them breathe first. That's going to give you some breathing room. It's going to lower tone, things aren't so toned up. We're going to get a better adjustment towards soft tissue work on the client. So that's thing one. Thing two would then be to look at the thoracic spine, okay? And so if the person has issues with their shoulder, thoracic spine is kind of the base from which the shoulder moves. So we want to make sure that, that area moves well so we can take motion there off the table. If I don't have good motion there, my shoulder's not going to have a good base to work from, okay? So there are a lot of videos on thoracic mobility drills that you could potentially do, but one drill that I like a lot that is an FRC thing, just really for the entire spine, but if we're working on, thoracic spine in particular, is just thoracic flexion extension. And all I do here, I rock my butt back to my heels, and I just start to try to extend from my thoracic spine, and then flex from my thoracic spine. And I can take a deep breath in with flexion, and then with extension, I can exhale. And really what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get segmental motion from each vertebrae here. So what I can do as a coach is put my finger in each vertebrae and just say, okay, press down into my finger. And if you find that the client has one area that's stuck, I can even have them come onto their back, put like a pencil or my fingers under that spot, and just have them flex and extend it into that area. Okay, so that's good homework. That's a good thing to do. And then finally, we're going to look at shoulder mobility. Okay, for me, one, does the person have, full shoulder flexion as well as full internal and external rotation? Okay, if they don't, then do we need to give that back to them through stretching? But if they do have it and they still have pain, maybe we just need to give them better control over that region, over that area. Okay, so let's say somebody has pain when they're reaching overhead. All right, and we release some muscles around that area that they find to be tight. Okay, now they have better motion. Now what we want to do is reinforce that with some stability training to move actively through that range of motion to gain control and tell the body that it's okay to do so. So this is called shoulder card. What I do here is I just tighten up here. I can even put my hand like on something, just tighten my abs. Just move slowly up, not arching my back to the point where I can't move my arm overhead anymore. I turn my palm to face backwards. I just go behind my back. And then I'm going to alternate. I go behind me, start to come around. And again, there should be no pain there. But what I'm doing is I'm trying to just actively control that range of motion, feed my body good sensory input, increase my active range of motion. So those, and again, in the future videos, we'll get into further drills, but those are some things that you can do. That's a good kind of hierarchy of things to look for, you know, and that's a way to save a lot of time when somebody comes in, which is sort of a benign shoulder problem. Work on those things in that order, and you've got a winner there.